Why is it that so many good men find themselves constantly chasing a woman's approval, only to watch her interest fade with each desperate attempt to please her? You've been there, haven't you? Checking your phone obsessively after sending that text, overthinking every word, wondering if she'll respond with approval or silence. The cycle is familiar. You meet someone who captivates you, you start to care what she thinks, and before you know it, you're trapped in an exhausting game of seeking validation from someone whose opinion of you seems to determine your worth. But have you ever noticed that the moment you start chasing her approval is often the moment she starts pulling away? This pattern isn't random, it's deeply psychological, and understanding it might be the key to transforming not just your dating life, but your relationship with yourself. Think about it. When was the last time you found yourself truly excited about someone who was desperately trying to impress you? When someone's entire demeanor screams, "Please like me," something in our instincts pulls back. We're wired to value what we earn over what's freely given. And this fundamental truth of human psychology is what we'll explore today. The approval-seeking mindset is a prison constructed from your own insecurities. Every text you send becomes a pebble thrown into a deep well. You listen anxiously for the sound of it hitting the water, for any echo of response. Your self-worth becomes contingent on external validation, measured in response times and emoji choices. Is this really the foundation you want to build your relationships on? Let's be honest about what's happening when you seek her approval. You're not just showing interest, you're subconsciously communicating that your value is lower than hers. You're positioning yourself beneath her, looking up, waiting for judgment. And in doing so, you're setting up a dynamic that rarely leads to mutual respect or genuine connection. Consider what this approval-seeking behavior communicates. When you constantly check if she's impressed by you, you're actually asking her to do the work of validating your worth. You're outsourcing your self-esteem to someone who never agreed to carry that burden. Is it any wonder that she might find this exhausting? The truth is uncomfortable but liberating. No amount of external validation will ever fill the void of self-approval. The woman whose attention you're seeking can sense this vacuum, and it rarely inspires confidence or attraction. So what's the alternative? How do you break free from this self-defeating cycle? The answer isn't about playing games or manufacturing false confidence. It's about reclaiming your sense of intrinsic worth. It's about remembering that your value doesn't increase or decrease based on her response to your message. You were complete before you met her, and you remain complete regardless of her opinion of you. This shift isn't about becoming indifferent or aloof. It's about centering yourself in your own life story rather than auditioning for a supporting role in hers. When you approach interactions from a place of self-contained worth, something remarkable happens. The dynamic transforms. Picture yourself walking into a room, not wondering, "Will she like me?" but rather, "Do I enjoy her company?" Feel the difference in your posture, in your energy, in your very presence when you're assessing compatibility rather than seeking approval. This isn't arrogance, it's healthy self-regard. The paradox is this: when you stop seeking her approval, you become inherently more attractive, not because you're playing some tactical game, but because authentic confidence is magnetic in a way that neediness never can be. Consider the men you admire, the ones with genuine presence. Do they seem consumed by winning everyone's approval? Or do they move through the world with a quiet certainty about their own value? They're not obsessing over every interaction, analyzing every exchange for signs of validation or rejection. They're living from the inside out, not the outside in. Now, let's be practical about how to make this shift. First, recognize that breaking the approval-seeking habit requires more than superficial changes. You can't just pretend not to care while secretly hanging on her every word. The transformation needs to happen at a deeper level. Start by examining why her approval feels so vital. Often, we project our unresolved needs onto new relationships. If you were praised for achievement but rarely valued simply for being yourself, you may unconsciously seek that unconditional acceptance from romantic partners. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward changing them. Next, practice making decisions based on your authentic preferences rather than what you think will impress her. Where do you want to go for dinner? What movie would you genuinely enjoy? When you lead with authentic choices rather than calculated ones, you establish yourself as someone with a strong internal compass. Learn to sit with the discomfort of not knowing what she thinks. When you send that message, put your phone down. Engage with your life. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about having a life rich enough that you're not hanging on her response. Develop the habit of self-validation. When you accomplish something, acknowledge it yourself before seeking recognition from others. When you have a thought or feeling, Honor it internally before looking for external confirmation. This builds the muscle of self-trust, which is essential for breaking the approval-seeking pattern. Paradoxically, becoming comfortable with potential rejection is liberating. When you know you can handle a no with your self-worth intact, you stop walking on eggshells. You communicate more directly, more honestly, and authenticity, even when imperfect, is far more compelling than carefully calculated people-pleasing. Remember that genuine confidence isn't about believing everyone will like you. It's about being okay when they don't. Not everyone will be compatible with your authentic self, and that's not just okay, it's preferable. Incompatibility discovered early saves both people from wasted time and inevitable disappointment. As you shift away from seeking her approval, you'll notice something profound. The quality of your connections improves. The women who are drawn to your authentic self-containment are typically more secure themselves. They're looking for a partner, not a devotee. They want to walk alongside you, not be placed on a pedestal. And yes, in one of life's most beautiful ironies, when you genuinely stop seeking her approval, she's far more likely to seek yours. Not because you've manipulated the situation, but because authentic self-respect evokes respect from others. When you value yourself appropriately, you become, quite naturally, more valuable in others' eyes. This isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about removing the masks and performance that have kept you from being fully seen. It's about standing in your truth and letting that be enough. The journey from approval-seeking to self-approval isn't always comfortable. You'll have moments of doubt. You'll face the temptation to fall back into old patterns. When this happens, remind yourself that true connection can only happen between two people who are showing up authentically. Your willingness to be real, to risk disapproval, creates space for genuine intimacy that approval-seeking never could. So, the next time you find yourself anxiously awaiting her response, pause, take a deep breath, remember your inherent worth, and then redirect your energy toward creating a life so engaging that whether she responds becomes just one small part of your rich and meaningful existence. The truth is, the man who doesn't need her approval to feel complete is precisely the man most likely to capture and keep her interest, not through tactics or games, but through the natural magnetism of authentic self-possession. Stop seeking her approval, start approving of yourself, and watch as the entire dynamic of your relationships transforms from pursuit to partnership, from anxiety to ease, from performance to presence. The question isn't whether she approves of you. The question is, are you showing up as someone you approve of? Answer that question honestly, align your actions accordingly, and you'll find yourself attracting not just her attention, but the right kind of attention from the right kind of people. And that, ultimately, is worth far more than any fleeting validation could ever be.